97 out of the box.
Good morning, H-Town.
Keisha J. Mac Jazz live from the local Houston BMW Center Studios.
This weekend at the Hobby Center, Jacarius Johnson presents New Jack City live on stage, and we got the cast in the building right now. I'm gonna go around the table real quick. We got Flex Alexander here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
We are doing good. Alan Payne, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. How you doing?
Great. Big Daddy Kane.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. Now listen, the running joke, everybody, the listeners of the show, they know I haven't seen New Jack City, so I'm super excited about this. But I know this is Jessica's favorite movie.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm excited. I've been excited about this whole stage play since we've been announcing it. I got to get my tickets. I've seen Jacarius Johnson do other stage plays, so I'm excited about this one here. Yeah. I grew up watching this movie, right, J-Mac? We're always sitting here throwing quotes back and forth.
Oh yeah, we loved it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and you definitely got to get your tickets and come and see this. So I'm excited to have you guys here in the studio with us today.
Excited to be here.
And so how hard was it for y'all to be a part of this movie? When he came to y'all and he was like, hey, I need y'all to be in this play, how easy or how hard was it for him to get y'all to get into it?
It started with AP, so we needed an AP.
Oh, well. For me, it started about 3 years ago. And he kept asking me to do it, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, because I kept seeing how Wesley and Ice, they didn't want to touch it. They was like, nah, let's let it be what it is. And then Jacarius kept calling me, and he was like, come on, man, come on. And then he said, yo, I called Warner Brothers, I got the rights. Now let's make it happen. And then he was trying to cast these dudes, because he was like, yo, I want to bring the young group in with the older group, so let's get you to do it, and then we'll get some young cat that played Bobby Brown to play Nino. And I was like, no, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to do none of that. So then he was like, yo, what about this person? What about Kane? What about Flex? And I was like, now you talking my language.
And then, is that when you jumped on?
Well, yeah, he had been, Jacarius and I have been trying to work together for several years. You know, just timing never worked out, so he just hit me up and said, yeah, you know, what you got going in September, October? And I said, yeah, you know, I'm pretty open. He said, I'm going to send you something. And it was just that simple. But my initial reaction to, you know, when he said the role was Pookie, I was like, because you know, Chris Rock put a stamp on that, you know, and I wanted to same thing. I was like, well, man, I got other skills, dramatic, and boom, boom, and boom. So I called a couple of my friends, and they said, Negro, you better go ahead and play Pookie. I said, Pookie's gonna be funny, and you can do your thing. And I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. So it was easy for me, man. It's been great.
What about you, Big Daddy Kane? When did you jump on?
They came and found my manager, I think, sometime year before last at a concert in Detroit, and told him about it. And you know, once he mentioned it to me, you know, New Jack City being one of those, you know, my favorite movies, something I've always admired, and you know, this dude right here, you know, being my man for so many years, you know, I was like, you know, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to.
Is it just like the movie, or has some things changed in there, in the play?
Some things have changed.
Some things have changed.
Well, they have to change. Some things, you know, when you have the opportunity to bring something into a community where things actually happen. You gotta remember, even a movie is a reflection of real life.
Right.
So when you have to take all of those different experiences and put them in one place for an audience to go, okay, so then you gotta rearrange all of that so that it all appears to be like it's happening where it actually happened.
Now, there's been a lot of plays at the Hobby Center. This is one of the plays that I hear people most excited to see, obviously because everybody loved the movie New Jack City. And we're going to go ahead and give a pair of tickets out. Call number 9-713-621-0979. And we got the cast of New Jack City in the building. It's 97.9 The Box.
Good morning, H-Town.
Rapping Big Daddy Kane. He usually raps in these times.
Well, you know what? I never thought growing up I'd get to see my favorite rapper of all time. My favorite rapper of all time. So, you know, it's definitely an honor to have him in here.
Yes!
You know, growing up, man, it's just crazy to me. Because at one particular point, Jay-Z is my favorite rapper too. And at one particular point, I thought Jay-Z was stealing your style. Because he had came on the scene, he was so cool. And to me, you was the coolest rapper ever. You had the fashion, you had everything that I wanted to be, you know. the haircut, the lines in your eyes. Remember when he did that? Everything, man. And it's just an honor to have you here.
Puff pass. Nah, I mean, me and Jay, we have a very, very long history. Him and Positive K are like two brothers that I took on tour with me back in 1990 on my first tour. So Jay was on the road with me for a long time, like from like 90 to 92. Like I just did a song with Patti LaBelle, and when I realized that she does outfit changes on stage, I was like, oh wow, nobody in hip hop does this.
Right.
So when I came back to finish up my tour, I grabbed Jay and I grabbed Positive K and was like, yeah, I want y'all to come on the road with me. So I would do half the show in one outfit, then call Jay-Z and Positive K out to freestyle on stage while I'm changing outfits, and then I come out in something different, and me, Scoop, and Scrap will finish the show. So that's how far me and Jay go back, So we've been friends since, I want to say like 89 maybe, something like that.
Wow.
I love this moment because I feel like people don't give flowers enough to our pioneers in hip hop. So I love the moment of J-Mac showing and expressing that he's excited that you're in the building. I think we don't see enough of this. Everybody's too cool, right? Everybody's too cool to be a fan. Everybody's too cool to give people their flowers. So I actually really love this moment.
I got another question.
It's not even just that too. I'm gonna tell you from my perspective, coming up and knowing these brothers. I mean, 30+ years. Coming up as a hip hop dancer and my start, what I mean, in Latin quarters and clubs like that, Union Square back in the day, and being around Kane, and when I was a dancer and doing shows when I danced with Salt and Pepper, knowing AP for all those years, knowing Tretch, all these guys I've been a fan of. So for me to be working with them and still be a fan, I told Kane straight, I said, yo, it's you and Rakim for me. Boom, that's it. I mean, I love everybody else, but as far as lyricism goes, like there's no one that does it better. So you can't be afraid to let people know. So that's dope. But just don't think you on the outside.
Right.
I'm on the inside.
Right.
And I'm still a fan.
I have one more question before.
Go ahead, Matt.
Because I never thought I would get the opportunity to interview you. Now, I was a kid when you did the thing with Madonna. Did you ever regret it? Because I was like, it's the coolest thing in the world, but it seemed like at the particular time, hip hop wasn't ready for it. When you did the
Is hip hop ready for it now?
it
I
seems
mean,
like,
you got Kardashians and all them, so is hip hop ready for it now?
it seems like they do it all now. But at that particular
Then
point,
you welcome.
And that's the point of even the comment of let me give you your flowers. That's disrespectful. It's disrespectful because when you're a pioneer, something I don't need your flowers.
right,
I don't need you to acknowledge that
Right.
I gave you your livelihood.
right,
Nah, I had to learn this the hard way. It's a term. I mean, we're like, it means something else to us. It's a term that's used in a different manner. Like for the longest, I couldn't get that whole GOAT thing.
Right.
Because it's like, how can 10 people be the GOAT if the meaning is greatest of all time?
Right.
It can only be one.
Right.
But I understand now that what they mean something different by GOAT, it's like just like giving you that supreme status, and you can give it to several people, because if we call someone the GOAT, ain't 10 people one.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We talking boxing, I'm calling Muhammad Ali the GOAT, not nobody else.
Right.
We talking R&B, I'm calling Marvin Gaye the GOAT, not nobody else.
But I think it goes back to my point, which is ultimately, if we think this is a culture, what we're not recognizing is for us, we perceive it as a culture when the reality is somebody else controls it. Somebody else is making more, even though we all make money, somebody else is manipulating it and making much, much more money than we ever imagined making. And they're deciding who gets to get what, who gets to be big, who gets to do this. And that don't come from the bottom where we were that says, look at all of these people in this environment. Let's see who's talented and who's not. Now it's based on people at the top going, oh, now that you've given us the foundation, let's see how we can monetize this, but also where it doesn't become a threat to our power status. So it's no culture involved in it.
Well, hip hop began as a culture, and, street art form and way of expression, but now hip hop has become commercialized.
Yeah.
And anytime something, becomes commercialized, what happens is quantity goes out. I mean, comes in and quality goes out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not a matter of who's great at this. It's like how many people can we grab to make it sell.
And then we say whoever we can grab to sell the most becomes the greatest.
Yeah.
And you're like,
But I
no,
do
they're
want to
not
say
the
one
greatest.
thing though. I do want to say one thing though. Even though we have 9 million hip hop artists, there's still a lot of great talent out there.
Absolutely.
Shout out to J. Cole, shout out to
Oh, yeah.
Kendrick, shout out to Rhapsody, shout out to Lady London.
Oh,
So
Lady
many
London.
yeah, man. We have so many amazing new talented people out there that's doing a great job, you know. But I understand exactly what AP's saying.
We got Big Daddy Kane, Alan Payne, and Flex Alexander getting ready
Yes.
for the New Jack City stage
Yeah.
play this Friday. Got more on the way right here on 97.9 The Box. Good morning,
morning,
H-Town. Right here, Alan Payne, Flex Alexander, Big Daddy Kane, all weekend long, MLK weekend at the Hobby Center for Jacarius Johnson. New Jack City, Jacarius, come on over here. Come on over here. You always put together.
You said his
some
name wrong.
phenomenal- You always put together some phenomenal casts for your plays, man. What's the energy been like for you just watching these guys bring it to life?
Fantastic. I mean, each and every one of them are absolutely awesome, and it's a dream for me to just have these guys because I've been a fan of all of their works, you know, growing up, and to be able to put them all in one iconic piece and have all these iconic individuals in there, it's just blowing it over the top, and the audiences are loving them left and right. And at the end of the day, I only try to do one thing, is give the people the best I can give every single time. And so, you know, some of that is script and a lot of that is them, you know, to be able to get up there and deliver what they deliver every night, to bare their souls and give the people, you know, an incredible and amazing experience. So it's just been fantastic.
And it's been fantastic in here because I am there's so many gems, so many things that we're learning about these guys in here that I didn't know just having these conversations. We do a lot of this, right? We're on our phone. We were just talking about this. We're on our phone a lot. And I think we don't do enough like just sitting around and everybody
Right.
just talking and having
Yeah.
these conversations. So we learn a lot of things. One thing I did learn that Flex Alexander was a dancer, and you actually was a background dancer in the movie New Jack
extra,
City.
yes.
An extra.
Yes.
That is crazy full circle, right?
Yeah, it's full circle, man. It blows my mind every time. I still can picture AP walking in and Ice-T pulling his glasses down. I still remember, man. And it was a point where I said something because I knew Wes from, you know, comedy, coming to the comedy club, and I said something, and Mara Van Peebles, they cut, and they was like, "Who is it? Move his ass to the back." And they put me to the back because I didn't know about, you know. I'm like, "Yo, what up, Wes?" I'm like, "No, it's Nino."
Yeah, we've been finding out a lot of gems, and one of the great things that I've learned today is that you guys are all from the same neighborhood, all grew up together. You guys are brothers. And G Money, you told me exactly, Alan Payne, how you got the role of G Money, because you really are G Money.
To a degree, yeah, absolutely. I'm not that I'm G Money, but I grew up in that neighborhood, so that whole reality is an experience that I live. And to be honest, there are guys like Rich Porter and Alpo and those guys. I actually told those guys that I'm going to acting school, so I'm not messing with these streets. I'm going to acting school, and they laughed at me every day. Until Rich got killed. And when Rich got killed, and like if you remember in Paid in Full, when they cut his brother's finger off
Yeah.
and they sent it, the guys, and then there's a guy named Kev that used to get money on my block. He worked for Rich. And when that happened, when New Jack City came out, I saw Kev in City Island at Sammy's. And he said, "Yo, watching you go from telling us that you was going to acting school and us laughing at you every day to going to see New Jack City and be like, wait a minute, how did that happen?" And he said, "I didn't know what to do." But he said, "I went back to school. I got a family, you know, I got a job." So that's, you know.
Yeah,
dope.
imagine how crazy it is. You doing a show based on a movie, and the people in it actually knew all of the people that all of this is about. Know the neighborhood. Talking about, no, that was over here on Harlem. That was in Harlem on this street. That was this block. That was this house. My sister stay across the street from this and that. Like it's just crazy.
It's crazy. Jay said Jay is dealing with a lot of stuff. So he hired his man, Jay Kyle, who's a very talented director.
That's my boy.
And Jay is, she's going, well, the way I interpret this, I said, hold on, homie. Stop interpreting my shit.
You know you're on the radio, right? You know,
Facts.
no, you know you're on the radio, right, Alan?
Yeah, sorry.
Facts.
Can I still come back?
It's about time to wrap this thing up.
I'm sorry.
There's your segue. I was about to wrap it up anyway. Thank you for the segue.
Y'all know still.
Make sure y'all get y'all tickets to the Royal Game. Live on stage this weekend. Ja'Carrius Johnson, New Jack City, Flex Alexander, Alan Bain, Big Daddy Kane. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us this morning. We appreciate you.
And you better watch that movie before.
I am.
Yo,
All right.
You know, that's a real conversation that me and him had.